rip the Pacific. I had a ton of things here, so I'm just going to rapid fire, and you can decide if there's one you want to talk about. Anaheim Ducks, ruining young players, not letting them get ice time. Calgary Flames, can't even touch that one. Everything's wrong. Everything's on fire. Haha. Edmonton Oilers, trade Leon Draisaitl, fire Jay Woodcroft. Maybe a Darnell Nurse buyout. Like, all of that's at play. Los Angeles Kings unfortunately ruined it for me last night with the performance against Toronto, because that one was the hammer of all hammers, but literally hammer the over on every LA game. So far this year, 7 goals, 11 goals, 6 goals, 10 goals, 6 goals, 9, 9, 7, 5.
Bring back Jonathan Quinn.
You'd miss 3 of them total, and one of them was an absolute fluke because Toronto, LA should have been an absolute hammer spot. So at a 6.5, you're hitting way more than you're missing. San Jose Sharks, they might get multiple first-round picks this year just for how historically bad they're going to fucking be. They are currently pacing for roughly 10 points on the season. That's insanity. And historically the worst ever since 1990, I looked up. 24 points in 92-93 for the Sharks and 42 points in 94-95. I think they could goalpost, land somewhere in between the two, get the field goal, put up 3. Seattle Kraken, interesting. Last year, total outlier, and Jagwatch, just a guy on both Beniers and Wright. Vancouver Canucks, Isha, Quinn Hughes, Norris Trophy. Honestly, I've threw out a little bit of money on Elias Pettersson to get Hart Trophy too. And Vegas Golden Knights, fucking repeat piece of shit bastards. Take any of that and run.
Okay. And I am strapped for time, so I will rip through a couple of these. Number 1, biggest takeaway for me, San Jose Sharks. I could absolutely see them being the worst team in NHL history. They are so fucking unbelievably bad. And shout out, I actually feel bad for him because he's very funny in terms of just being a weird guy, but in a very innocent, funny way. No, Mark Edward Vlasic put up the worst analytical performance in NHL history. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we had
I feel bad for him now.
His game score was -8.5, which was just no one's touched that.
Poor guy.
And he's getting paid 7.5 sheets. Oh God.
He earned it when he got it.
Yeah. They are so bad. You look at the roster, you're well, who, if they're gonna let's say they put together a 3-game win streak, who's doing it for them? And the fact that they at one point had 2 goaltenders with over a 900 save percentage and still look
Beyond
like
impressive.
this is, they should both get the Vezina. Give them both the Vezina.
Oh, weird. Who was one of them?
Kakinen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, Hurdle is
so
their only player. I feel so bad for everyone.
They are so fucking bad. It's unbelievable. Moving on from them, I think the Kings at some point here are going to go on a fucking heater. I watched them.
I don't trust their goalies, man. I don't trust them.
I don't, but I watched them kick the ever-living dog shit out of Toronto last night. And I do think that they can protect those goalies well enough to go on a heater. I absolutely
sustain it, though. That's the real question. And you know what? Fine. They can go on a heater this season. I will have so much trouble believing in them in the postseason. I will not be able to bet on 100%. them. I can't.
100%. 100. Yeah. And I think everyone knew the Vegas Golden Knights were going to be very good again. The fact that, again, they essentially did not turn anybody over on that roster and are still. Hey,
be respectful to Pittsburgh Penguins.
Other than Phil.
No.
And Riley Smith. Riley Smith looks good, by the way.
Has been fucking sick. He's the one thing that's been right.
Him and Malkin?
Yeah, him and Malkin have torn it up, which, by the way, Malkin, definitely not a top 100 player in the NHL a couple of years ago.
Unbelievable.
Definitely not a top 100 player just this season. if there was a list that they put out, oh, you go, man. You're good.
No,
if they put out a list of top 100 snubs in the NHL, he would be snubbed from that list.
It's unbelievable. I still cannot believe he didn't get. That's a joke. He's one of the best NHL players.
Yeah.
So,
I think Seattle Kraken is the one you should touch on if you're going to do one more, because
I still think they have a heater in them too. That sucks that
goaltending was shockingly good last year. There's no way they can repeat that.
It wasn't though. At one point, they were winning with fucking Martin Jones.
Yeah, and he was playing really fucking well.
No, he wasn't. He had like a fucking 902 save percentage.
That's really good for Martin Jones.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't fucking matter.
Beniers and Wright. Worried about either of them?
No, not at all.
Turn the page.
I couldn't be less worried about those two.
So I think Beniers is maybe a second line player.
The one game that Bjorkstrand, who were they playing? Bjorkstrand lit them up. He had 2 insane goals. I think Seattle will be fine. That's a playoff team for me. Again, I think the Kings do at some point go on a heater, but my God, Vegas, what they're doing with essentially the same roster, they look even better than they did at this point last year too.
Yep.
Shout out my boy, Bruce Cassidy. I fucking love that guy. Wore a phenomenal sweatshirt last week or 2 weeks ago.
Hey, Bruce, how's game 600 different than game 1? All the hardware is nice.
He's such a beauty. I fucking love that guy. He's the best.
It's so funny how a different market matters, because in Boston, he's just a fucking asshole. Literally any other market. Oh, yeah.
Bruce no, he's a god. Cool. He's a god here. He's a god here.
Really?
Oh yeah, everyone was so mad when they fired. Everyone hates Don Sweeney. Remember, everyone hates Don Sweeney and Cam Neely.
Yeah,
which also that's crazy.
And every goalie that you've ever had.
Yeah, every goalie ever. Love Bruce Cassidy will always be a god here. Like you will struggle to find, especially now. Obviously, the year he left, he wins the cup finally. You won't find anyone with a bad word to say about Bruce Cassidy. He's a god in Boston. But they are terrifyingly good. It is fucking unbelievable. And I've never seen a team that basically like, because the other day, I think it was they said it was the first time ever that a team that won the cup the year before, the active roster for a game, every player was on that team, which is crazy to me.
Riley Smith.
That's true.
So fake stat.
I can't remember exactly what that stat was.
Everyone except for one.
I think it was a certain, I don't know what it was, but either way.
Pittsburgh did it in their back-to-back. The only guy they lost was which defenseman? You can go.
I know what defenseman you're talking about too. That's what
Are you literally going to the drop? Is that what's happening right now?
I am opening the door.
All right.
Peace.